Okay, hi guys, welcome to Dev Central. In this video, we're gonna talk about Python, and if you're watching this, I'm just going to assume that you have no knowledge of Python or how to use it. Video. We're gonna talk about three different things, and this is just the foundation for this language. First thing is print. What is print and how do you use it? Another thing is variables, and this I'm gonna cover a lower level topic of the variables, and I'm not going to go too in depth with it because I don't want to overwhelm you guys and just start throwing a bunch of stuff at you. And the last thing, just for fun, and frankly, when I first started using Python and I was learning it, I enjoyed playing with this function, but it's user input. And that's just how you let someone using your program put in data, and then you can retrieve that data and store it in a variable, and then print it out if you want. So Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is variables. And what are variables? Variables are how we store data in Python. And we can get data from a user. We might need data. We might try and web scrape and get data from a website. Or we might want to store data that we created ourselves. And we would use a variable to hold that data. It is just a container for data. Think of it like a box. And you want to put something specific inside that box for later on. So the way we'd create a variable is it could be anything. It could be that's a variable. Not really because it has that colon in there. You can't have that in a variable. Um, it could be X. It could be your name. It could be a store. There's a variable. And what you do is X equals, and we're going to create a string with this variable. And all a string is a variable that has these quotes around it. And it can be single quotes or double quotes. And inside of that, you can have words like hello, you have a number, whatever you want. Variable, again, is just a container for data. So let's create a variable, and it's just going to have my name, Jacob. Okay? Press enter, and then X. There you go. That is how I just called a variable right here. And this IDE, which is just Python, the basic Python IDE, that's all you have to do, and you can see what I stored in the variable. And then if I want to say y is equal to 5, that is also a variable, and it's 5. And so now to the print function I was talking about earlier. What is print? So that is a built-in Python function, and we use print to display data. You might be using it later on down the road when you get more comfy with Python to help try and debug it, or you just might want to see what's inside a variable. So let's print X, Jacob. Realize when I did this, there's no quotes around it. That's just pay attention to little stuff like that. That'll help you a lot down the road. So print's as simple as that. You just write print and you have these parentheses around it, right? And inside of the parentheses, you have whatever you want to print out. So if I want to print out y and see what data is inside the variable y, do that. And the last thing we're going to talk about is user input, and that's a way to get data from the user. Um, User input's also a built-in function, and the way we call and would use that is we could say y is equal to input, and right here you write what you would want the user to see. So I could ask, hi, comma, how are you? And just for the sake of making it easier for the person to read, I'm going to put a little space right there. So when I press enter, this popped up, and this is what the user of the program might or would see, depending on how you have your program written. I'll just lower level thing in here, but this is what the user of the program would see, and they could type anything in there. So we would say great. But okay, what happens? What happens if you call y? Maybe you might want to pause the video for a second here and kind of just think about what might happen. But for the sake of it, I'm just gonna print y. Nope, nope. There we go. And you can see it printed out great, which was my response. So those are three of the basic things I just wanted to cover in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. Um, Again, Python is, this seems super simple, and the further along you get, you'll run into more complicated things, and you'll get frustrated. You will want to start throwing stuff. I want to break stuff, but part of the journey is part of the process, and you have to start somewhere. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed and learned something from it.